Yo, this is Elliot Russell.
Hey, this is Matt Sigmon of the
Heatseekers, and you're listening to Live and in Color with Wolfie D.
Hey, this is Jimmy Street, host of the Live and in Color with Wolfie D podcast. Hear the life and times of professional wrestler Wolfie D. From his time in the territories with PG-13 to his time in WWE, ECW, WCW, TNA, and more. Nothing is off limits and nothing will be held back. Thanks again for tuning in. Here he is, Wolfie D.
Welcome once again to Live and in Color with my man Jimmy across the street. Jimmy, Hall of Fame, Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame, 2024, baby.
Yeah, buddy. Congratulations, man.
Yeah, man. I'm actually marking out for that. Not gonna lie, man. It's what I grew up on, dude. It's what I grew up on, and to be honored in that way, special ceremony and everything. This is going to be cool. September 21st, for those of you that don't know, Jackson, Tennessee. It's 2310 North Highland. It's the Picture Perfect Event Center in Jackson, Tennessee. 7 o'clock is the Hall of Fame ceremony. That'd be Central Time. And I think 3 is when the meet and greet starts. And there's going to be a tribute to Lawler and Dundee as far as like their feud, great rivalry.
Oh, yeah.
So it should be a blast, man. There's a lot of people going in, man. A lot of people going in this class. Let me see here. I don't know. Spellbinder, Handsome Jimmy, Sir Mo, Nightmare Danny Davis, of course, PG-13, Dirty White Boy, Dr. Tom Pritchard, Rock and Roll Express, Terry Golden. Let's see. Oh, I was thinking there was another one. I can't remember right this second. Maybe not. But anyway, folks, it's going to be cool. Check it out. I think, and I saw this on Randy's Facebook, so I'm not saying nothing that I have not been okayed to say, that I believe it's going to be streaming as well. So if you can't, you don't live near Jackson or whatever, you can catch it streaming. So
very cool.
That's a good thing. But yeah, man, I'm not going to sit here and give my speech right now, but I'm just tickled pink, bro.
Yeah, man, you should be, and you guys deserve it. I mean, I think it's fair to say that it's a little bit long overdue, but hey, man, it matters when it matters, when it happens, but I mean, when I see the Rock and Roller going in at the same time, I can't really complain about you all waiting too long. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm sure there was a rhyme and a reason, but this is an all-star class, man, for sure.
Yeah, for sure, man. I'm excited. I really am, man. But so on today's show, speaking of a good tag team, we got Elliot Russell and Matt Sigmon, who are the Heatseekers, man, and they they tear up the indie scene.
Oh, dude. Yeah. I love that they're a real tag team. I think, that'll be talked about, I'm sure. But, I love that they're a tag team and they're they burn up the roads. And man, I was thinking, man, they've wrestled basically every viable tag team, out there that is in their current crop of wrestlers, and, 4-time world heavyweight tag team champions of the NWA. I mean, that's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, man.
So even you've held that belt.
Well, the NWA TNA, yeah. I don't know if is that the same belt?
Yeah, it's the same because TNA was an NWA affiliate at that time.
Gotcha.
So
yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, they were like the Crockett of the NWA. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
I didn't never really understand how all that worked back then. Like when, there was NWA this, NWA that, but okay, so who's the real champions? I mean, it's like, because it didn't feel, I'll be honest with you, it didn't, like TNA felt like something, but like some of these other ones that were calling themselves NWA, it just didn't never felt like NWA to me, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like the Bruce Tharpe era, kind of, was
not to knock anybody that was there or anything like that. It just, I kind of understood what they were trying to do. I just don't think it did that. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Well, being as that was the only NWA I worked for, I thought it was freaking awesome, bro.
Yes, it was great. Let's get big ass head Sigmon on here and sandbagging Elliot, and we'll have some fun with them.
All right, we'll be right back with the Heatseekers after these messages.
This episode is brought to you by Honda. When you test drive the all-new Prologue EV, there's a lot that can impress you about it. There's the class-leading passenger space, the clean, thoughtful design, and the intuitive technology. But out of everything, what you'll really love most is that it's a Honda. Visit honda.com/EV to see offers.
Hey folks, to get your official Live It in Color with Wolfie D merchandise, go to prowrestlingtees.com/live Wolfie D. Check it out.
If you're listening to Live and in Color with Wolfie D on Apple Podcast and like what you're hearing, go ahead and leave a 5-star rating. And while you're at it, write a review. Tell us what you liked. Tell us what you'd like to hear in the future. It's very important to us and always appreciated. Thanks again.
All right, guys, we are back. And once again, I love the fact that you hang in from the commercials, Jimmy. We got a cool crew tonight, Jimmy.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do.
I mean, would you like to introduce them?
Today, we are welcoming the 4-time NWA Tag Team Champions, the baddest mofos from East Tennessee, the Heatseekers, Matt Sigmon and Elliot Russell.
That's pretty incredible. Like 4-time NWA?
Shoot.
Yeah, not 2, not 3, but 4. What's up, guys?
Damn, that's pretty cool, man. That's
not even
cool.
5. Maybe 5 soon, though, right?
Eventually. If
all right.
Book it that way.
So, I want to talk to both of you, man. I love you both, man. Sigmon.
Yo.
Did you
What's
think,
going on, my friend?
TCW, we had great shit,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
The only thing that I thought in TCW was that match me and you had. Did you think, honestly, you should have put me over in that?
Hey, I was thinking about that actually earlier today. And truthfully, I didn't really care either way.
I mean, I didn't either, but I'm just saying, like, booking-wise, it was one of those things because we just had a TCW, talk on the last show. That was one of those things. And, bro, I love you, man. I love you. But I just thought that was one of those things. It was like, I don't know if this should work, but you go ahead.
Yeah. And no, I mean, at the time, too, I didn't know. And it was kind of a wild ride there, right? It was kind of ups and downs and craziness, but also some really good positivity going around with where they were taking things production-wise at the time and stuff. So that was kind of neat. But like development-wise, character-wise, didn't really have the long-term idea of where we were landing, where we were going. So, at the time I was just kind of, yeah, sure, yes, sir, no, sir, whatever you need from me today.
Right.
Just riding that wave, and it kind of just depended on the day and in terms of what we were being handed to deliver.
Yeah, I just felt like it was like, because of like what you said, I just felt like it was kind of a thing where they were putting me in this situation, and I didn't think it should go that way. Not to ever, man. Like, dude, I'd put you over anywhere because you're a great worker.
And you did, and you have.
I mean, honestly, I did. I didn't argue it. But I just felt like at that time, the storyline shouldn't have been that way. And you had a great match. The drop kick with the fucking me having the thing on my head and all that kind of stuff.
Lots of weaponry in that one, if I recall. And I was thinking, that was almost 10 years ago, Wolfie. Time goes by so fast.
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah. Long time ago, man. Sigmon, I always loved working with you. Always loved working with you. Good. And I'm so glad to see that you guys have propelled yourselves. Hey, you guys have propelled yourself on the independent circuit.
Yeah, we've been very blessed over the years with, especially with the tag team thing, and just being able to, longevity. Not a lot of guys, you and Wolfie can relate for sure, but not a lot of guys, or you and Jamie, can have that longevity, right? And we're going on 10 plus years together.
Yeah, and we also hate each other. So I don't know if you and Elliot hate each other, but yeah, that's pretty cool.
It depends on the season, right? But a lot of guys, they get thrown together. They're there for 3 months with each other or whatever, and then they separate, go about their own business. And there's not a lot of guys that truly stick together over the years anymore. So
yeah,
I'm proud of
Elliot.
what we've done.
Elliot.
Hey,
do you hate Sigmon?
no, but I'll tell you, he probably hates me because I'm sure if anybody's kept up with our social media, the music choices that I play a lot of times when we're in the car, it could make anybody.
Oh, that's so funny, man. Y'all do play stuff where y'all are riding down the road and singing and stuff. I love that.
Yeah, I like music, Wolfie, and Elliot. I don't know what that garbage that he listens to is actually called, but it does not qualify as music for the most part.
Oh man, I got to hear what that is then.
Yeah. So who's got the favorite music?
If I give you like some of the most grotesque music I listen to, you have to go with classic Cannibal Corpse.
Oh no, I was going to guess. Yes.
And
6 Feet Under.
6 Feet Under, which it was
right,
Cannibal Corpse first singer, and there's another band that's basically like Cannibal Corpse, like new era, and their singer passed away about a year ago. They're called the Black Dahlia Murder.
Yes, I know about them.
And I actually met the singer of Black Dahlia Murder at a Cannibal Corpse show, and in center stage, and then 3 months later he killed himself. So Sigmon tries to blame me for the suicide, but I don't think it was fully my fault.
So what does Sigmon listen to that you're so hot about?
I'm not hot about it. I just think it's a little different. Like
I've seen y'all sing. Hold on. I've seen y'all sing on social media. We all are driving down the road, you and him are singing stuff and whatever. So
now,
what is that about?
I'll get him on board sometimes, depending on if the day is right. I'll get him on board with some Eagles or even some like Brooks and Dunn or something, or some country or some like 70s rock or something.
Dude, they're great too, man.
But yeah, it depends. Most of the time he always deviates back towards the bands that he was listing.
And Sigmon, your wife is like a Orlando gimmick there.
Yeah, once upon a dream there.
That's awesome, man.
And coffee down there doing entertainment at Disney. Yeah, that was a fun.
Yeah,
fun
Disney.
For her.
Yeah. That's awesome, man.
That was fun for me too. At the time I got to live there and play with the mouse. Yeah.
Play with the mouse.
That's cool, man. That's pretty cool. You are married to a Disney princess.
That's awesome.
Yeah, she's married to a world champion.
Yeah. Four times.
Right. Sorry. I didn't mean to screw that up. She might know different.
Yeah. Hey, Wolfie, we haven't got to really see or hang out here lately, but how are you doing? How's the health? I see you getting out and about. You're making appearances again, so that's awesome to see. How you feeling these days?
I'm doing all right. I kayfabe a little bit on some of my health stuff that I'm not going to talk about, but I bring you guys in here and just want to talk to you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, appreciate it. Yeah, it's good to hear your voice again. It's been too long.
Absolutely. But that's awesome to me that your wife is like a Disney gimmick, and I mean that's so cool to me. What's his name? Brian's old partner, Scotty Too Hottie. His wife is, or girl or whatever, is a Disney gimmick too. Do y'all do that together or what?
No, man. When she was doing the job, it was kind of just all her thing. I'd go play in the parks here and there, but it's crazy how, similar it is to what this business is, just with the character build and the true entertainment side and even the politics behind it all. So that was fun to kind of watch from the sidelines rather than be directly mixed in on it. But yeah, cool moment, cool season. We're back up here in Tennessee now after the birth of my daughter. So just kind of
awesome,
on all that now. Yeah,
it's awesome. And so you two, man, you ride up and down the roads together. What made you guys go to each other and be like, "Hey, we're going to be a tag team, and we're going to do this, and we're going to be cool"?
I don't know if we ever. I don't know if we still yet have ever decided to be cool. But you know, Elliot had broke in. I was already 8 or 9 years in. Elliot broke in with me originally, just kind of training around, goofing around a little bit, and then he hooked up as well with Dr. Tom to kind of clean up. And then he started running the roads, working me every night. We were working each other kind of all over. And it got to the point where he's like breaking my nose every night. I got tired of
breaking your nose.
And yeah.
Are you serious?
Once or twice. So I got tired of taking that, and we were just with each other so often. Too.
I need to know. Hold on. So Elliot broke your nose?
Oh yeah.
Well, it was in my comeback. It was in a bump and feed comeback, and he's. This is a credit to Sigmon and a discredit to most guys in the indie circuit. You know, a lot of guys, when they bump and feed, they're slow as hell, slower than Christmas. So I'm bumping and feeding him as me being the baby face, him being the heel. Well, he is immediately up after like a clothesline, and I think like, okay, this, you know, I'm trying to be a lot, you know, Tommy Rich baby face right there in the middle of the ring. And as I'm firing it, you know, getting the crowd fired up, here he came. Well, I thought it was going to be a clothesline, but I think I turned it into a back elbow last second. And it just gushed his nose. But Wildfire Tommy Rich would be ecstatic because of the fire that I had in that comeback.
You daggone right.
Which by the way, I fired up about it.
I just ran into Wildfire Tommy Rich at Myrtle Beach, by the way, and he was wearing a bathing suit with his face on it.
Nice.
That's amazing. Fantastic.
I was just in Myrtle Beach last week, and here's my thing. Richard Cranium. I don't know if that makes any sense to anybody, but Richard Cranium wouldn't answer my calls. So
somebody say something about Wildfire, baby.
Yeah, fuck Wildfire. Anyway, might see him at the thing we're doing next September 21st.
Oh, you mean the Hall of Fame that you're going into?
The Hall of Fame. Tag team gimmick.
Right.
Yeah, that'll be cool too. But I don't think that me and Jamie ain't worked you two, have we?
No,
I don't think so.
No, never. I mean, we've all been on shows together in various, forms, but it's never been straight up booked.
Yeah, the Heatseekers, man. You guys are like, I'm on social media. I see you. You guys are everywhere. What do you think is the reason? I mean, you motherfuckers are on everything.
Yeah, I mean, we stay pretty consistent, pretty busy, and we built up a lot, in the Carolinas, a lot in a little bit of Georgia here and there. And we do kind of that Arkansas, Mississippi style, area loop with some Kentucky sprinkled in here and there. And we stay pretty busy with all that. And
who's better? Who's the worker here?
Oh, me, 100%.
Oh, okay.
It depends on the day.
I just put beard dye in my gray beard, so my beard is black again, and I've been actually working harder in the ring. My confidence is so much better just by the miracle of beard dye.
Okay, hang on. I got to ask this. All right. So, Elliot, you're how old?
30. I'll be 34 in 10 days.
Oh, my God. You got a long way to go. Sigmon, how old are you?
37 now. Yeah.
You fucking babies. Anyway, What I was going to say was, I was fixing to say something like, well, Jesus, man, you hit that one age. Well, you guys go fuck yourself. Yeah, keep working and get out there and keep doing your thing because, dude, I see you guys everywhere, man. I see you guys everywhere. And I'm like, yeah, they can both go. But let's talk about this, Elliot. You know what I'm going to say, right?
I plead the fifth on being the sandbag.
You sandbagged me, man. And Sigmon, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I saw the picture you posted. That was from the Brad Armstrong Memorial Show, I think. Wasn't it?
Yeah. But here's my thing. I can't remember. I just remember picking you up. This is a TCW thing, Elliot. Where I was going to pick you up to the finish. I was going to pick you up to the finish, and I was like, "You asshole, get up here!" You're like, "Okay," but I don't remember what you did before that pissed me off. So
yeah, there's actually two different matches in like maybe a 3-week span here. So in TCW, they book you and Roosevelt against me and a guy named Kurt Matthews, who's kind of like, I think he's a Louisiana guy, and he's tall and, well built, and he's wearing white trunks, which I think white trunks is like a cardinal sin in wrestling. Well, I think we had called, you were like, hey, my shoulder's hurting, so for this finish, I'm going to give you like a doomsday device. So I was like, all right, cool. And you were like, have you taken that? And I was like, no. You're like, okay, well, we'll do it Dominator style instead. So I was like, okay, well, I'll just take the Dominator. I think Roosevelt's coming off with the axe handle, and I just take a little backflip bump. Well, opening 30 seconds of the match, you and Roosevelt just bust brother open on the outside on the steel steps, and he's bleeding all over his little white diaper.
Oh, I remember that because I threw him into the railing.
And I'm thinking, great. I was like, first of all, we're supposed to get squashed in about 3 minutes. I was like, and I think I came in for the hot tag, and it was, a shitty little, 1 year in baby face. I don't even think y'all should have bumped on the hot tag.
It wasn't that hot, right?
Well, yeah, it was a cold tag. Well, I had Roosevelt. in the corner 10 punch, right? And you were like, Elliot, I'm going to grab you Dominator style as you're giving Roosevelt the 10 punch. Well, it's just an awkward position for me. Plus, I'm on the second rope, and I feel you touch me. I'm thinking, okay, well, he's going to electric chair me, right? And then I just hear, fuck. And next thing I know, I'm taking the electric chair instead of the Dominator, which was called spot. So I was like, okay, well, I'm taking that. So, he'll just pin me, right? And then you just pick me up and jack me up for the Dominator and just, backflip bump me right on the thing. 1, 2, 3. I'm like, but to your credit, when you were cussing me out, but when we got to the back, you were as cool as a cucumber. So I was like, well, thank God Wolfie's not going to eat me alive.
Oh, I love you.
I think you apologized.
That's so funny.
But
that's hilarious. Because I
Brad Armstrong
remember,
story.
like, I was picking you up, and I was like, Elliot, don't fuck this up, or something like that is what I said to you. I can't remember what happened before it. And I just remember picking you up and saying, don't fuck this up, or whatever I said. But I'm sorry. I love you.
Hey, it was cool because we worked again at that Brad Armstrong Memorial Show in Knoxville, and it was Shane Williams and you against me and Sigmon, and I think Kim Burchant, who's like a senator or House of Representatives now. He was the referee for the match.
County mayor at the time before we went.
And that was a great fun match. That's the picture. So the picture online, I think you were ribbing me like, hey, don't sandbag me like you did 2 weeks ago. And I was thinking, fuck.
I probably did, man. That's so funny, man. That's so funny. I love you guys, man. I love you. Jimmy, I'm fixing to roll over and give you a hot tag.
All right. Well, hot tag it is. Boys, this is a good question because it's got both of you here, and you all can sit here and agree on it together, or you can give me your separate ones, but I would love to hear each of your Mount Rushmore of tag teams.
Oh, man. To me, it's Midnight Express comes in probably right with rock and roll. I mean, it's neck and neck. I'm not going to say one's above the other. It's Mount Rushmore. They're all kind of blended in.
Yeah.
So if we're doing tag teams, I mean, it's 2 guys each, but it's 4 total. So we're doing 4 total teams.
Yeah, yeah, do 4. Yeah,
on the Mount Rushmore.
We'll crowd them on that hill. So,
Road Warriors probably going to be right mixed in there as well. And then I always loved watching Arn and Tully work together too.
Yeah.
I think it was so good just watching. And then whoever they were in the ring with too, they're always trying to make look like $1 million, similar to Midnight. So for me, that's probably the 4 I would throw on the list.
That's an incredible 4. Yeah. What about you, Elliot?
Oh well, if my Mount Rushmore, Mount whatever it is, Mount Rushmore. Of course, it's got to be PG-13.
Thank you.
And then
He's such a liar.
And then Slash and Sin. And then Brian Lee and Slash. So it's just blow Wolfie D in the Mount Rushmore.
And then Gary and Cerebus then too.
Roosevelt and but I'll lie and come up with another Mount Rushmore. That way, people don't think I'm a Wolfie D kiss ass.
Yeah.
I need you to stop that, please. Give me the real deal.
I would probably I grew up in watching. I started watching wrestling in '97. So I'm like the first action figures I ever got was Scott Hall and Kevin Nash. So the Outsiders has got to be on the Mount Rushmore for me, just because when I first started. But when I go back and watch film and old tapes, it's so hard not to say the Hart Foundation. Bret Hart's one of my favorite wrestlers, so his tag team stuff is just crazy incredible. And only because I was training already and I was around them, I think everybody says who's been around them so much. Ricky Morton's just so funny. I just feel like you had to put Rock and Roll Express and Midnight Express up there in your Mount Rushmore. Absolutely. If you're around Ricky Morton, it's like contagious not to laugh and just have a good time. And you watch his films, and it's just ridiculous the amount of babyface fire he had and sympathy he got from selling. And those are classic matches too. Midnight and Rock and Roll.
Sigmon turned you on to this, didn't he?
He turned me on, but then when I saw pictures of Ricky Morton's mullet in 1986, that's what really turned me on to it.
Yeah, but I'm saying, man, back in the day, man, when I was a kid, man, growing up, Memphis, Tennessee was a tag team thing. I mean, Memphis was tag teams. That's what it was. Sheep herders, fucking Moondogs, Fabulous, Rock and Roll Express, all that.
RPG.
And I won't say my name, but man, tag team wrestling was Memphis. So if you grew up watching that was a thing for me. Who was your favorite Memphis tag team?
Memphis, I think. What was Stan Lane? Or what was Stan Lane's partner's name?
Steve Kern, the Fabs.
Steve. Yeah, when they had the little bow ties and the chest there.
Good ones, man.
I went metrosexual for Steve Kern and Stan Lane's chest hair bow tie.
Well, you and Stan have a lot in common, as in you don't do podcasts. So
Elliot just don't talk much in general, but when he does, he comes swinging with a purpose.
Yeah, we can tell. I like it. Come on, man. So let me ask you this, Matt. Who was CM Sigmon?
That's actually my shoot name, right? So.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, my real name is Charles Matthew Sigmon. So, growing up as a kid, my neighbor always called me CM. And when I was getting into wrestling, in 2004, and it was 20 years ago, which blows my mind. But I was trying to come up with my name, and so I was like, I want to stick kind of with my real name, so I started using CM Sigmon. And this was, I guess tape traders and the DVD stuff started picking up, and people knew CM Punk or whatever, but at the time I didn't really know it.
Okay.
And so I was going by that. And well, then pretty soon after that, within the next 2 years, Punk started really gaining a lot of steam. And so I had to change it because everybody thought I was a mark for it.
Yeah. Okay.
And, yeah. So I had to, so I just dropped it and I just started going by Sigmon for a long time. And then it got to the point where I started adding just Matt Sigmon, thrown in the mix. But, it's actually shoot name. It just got kind of
taken from
screwed
you
up by Punk. It's over.
I swear I thought it was some kind of like, some kind of rib, like Dale Man rib or something. But,
No, the rib was just on me for having a shoot name that matched the top guy. So,
yeah. Okay. Well, then first of all, guys, I highly respect you guys. I've heard nothing but great stuff about you as far as a tag team goes. I love that you are a real tag team too. You go by the name and you're not just.
They are. There's. Let me jump in right here.
Of course.
On the indies and stuff, like there's not tag teams anymore, man. And I don't know, just in regular wrestling, there's not tag teams so much. These guys are a tag team, and I appreciate that. PG-13 was a tag team, and I think the Heatseekers are a tag team. So go ahead, Jimmy.
Yeah, the whole point of it is, and you just nailed in the point, was that you all are a real tag team. Who came up with the name, and when did y'all come up with that?
I started doing the Heatseekers gimmick with a guy named Sean Schultz years ago, and another guy named Shane Andrews. So they started doing their own thing, singles wise, and then I tagged with David Young for a few years. But then when I started running with Elliot, we picked the Heatseekers thing back up and trademarked it and everything, and just been running with it for, I don't know, last 10, 12 years, whatever it's been.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So there's no real element of these guys were heat-seeking missiles in the locker room or anything like that.
No, I mean, Tom Pritchard tells people that these guys are actual heat seekers in and out of the ring, and so that's why they learned the name. So
yeah, okay, yeah, I like that. So yeah,
we burn some bridges here, Jimmy, occasionally.
It's okay. All good heel tag teams do eventually somewhat burn a bridge, but I also know this for a fact that all the heels are usually the better people too, so in real life,
Let's take a quick time out and get a word from one of my dope ass sponsors, and we'll be right back with more Live and in Color with Wolfie D.
At BlueNile.com, you can find endless ways to make your moments sparkle. From classic and timeless jewelry gifts to creating the custom engagement ring of her dreams, all at prices you won't find at a traditional jeweler. And right now, you can save up to 40% on fine jewelry and 25% on engagement ring settings during the Blue Nile Anniversary Sale, going on now. Go to BlueNile.com to shop the Blue Nile Anniversary Sale and save up to 40%. That's BlueNile.com.
Ryan Reynolds here for, I guess, my 100th Mint commercial. No, don't. I mean, honestly, when I started this, I thought I only have to do 4 of these. I mean, it's unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month. How are there still people paying 2 or 3 times that much? I'm sorry, I shouldn't be victim blaming here. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/save. Whenever you're ready.
$45 upfront payment equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes. See details.
Support for Live and in Color with Wolfie D is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped recently launched the Ultimate Men's Hygiene Bundle, the Performance Package. Join over 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you. 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code WOLFIE at manscaped.com. If my math's correct, that's about 8 million balls.
This episode is brought to you by Experian. Are you paying for subscriptions you don't use but can't find the time or energy to cancel them? Experian could cancel unwanted subscriptions for you, saving you an average of $270 per year and plenty of time. Download the Experian app. Results will vary. Not all subscriptions are eligible. Savings are not guaranteed. Paid membership with connected payment account required.
So when you close your coffin for the last time, or somebody does it for you, and you have to think back, and in your mind you were like, this was the match, this was the one that set us apart, and you can confer together or you can say separate matches, whatever. What would you say is the match that you would play on a videotape forever to show how good the Heatseekers were?
I don't think, Jimmy, that it's a match itself, right? I don't think there's one specific match. I would rather it be they look back and they don't remember that one match. They remember that every match they saw us in, we tried to tell a good tag team story, and we tried to build up the guys we were working with.
Yeah.
And I because I think each match that we do, I'm very proud of what we've been able to do over the years with even Rock and Roll Express, Ricky and Robert getting older, but we still, when we get in the ring with them, we energize Ricky so much that they both just kind of go crazy, right? Mm-hmm. And they try to step it up even more, and I'm always very thankful for when they do. But that match is what it is, and that delivers in a certain way. But then you link us up with some other tag teams that maybe work a little bit different, or from a different area or whatever, and then it still delivers in a different way, right? So I wouldn't say that there's one specific match. Elliot may have a different opinion. I mean, we've had some real good ones over the years with like the Wolves and the Besties that were from out the Midwest guys, and just the Ugly Ducklings. And I mean, there's tons of different matches that we could point towards, but I think it's just the overall experience.
You got to have a best match of your life, man.
I think I could speak for him, and a big accomplishment that we got to do a few years ago is we worked for New Japan's American company, which they called New Japan Strong.
Yes.
And the match at New Japan Strong was good with Kevin Knight and I can't think of the guy's name right now. I'll think of it in a second. But the match that kind of led to us getting that spot was the match in Rock Hill, South Carolina for PWX, and it was against the team Patrick Scott and Chance Reiser.
Okay.
They're two kind of young guys, and they're not real super spotty, but they know how to go, and they're two athletic guys. I think their name was Kings Gates or the Influencers at the time. Mm-hmm. And I'm pretty sure you could find that on YouTube. You could definitely find the match of Heatseekers versus Influencers on YouTube. But I just know the one at PWX, Rocky Romero, who was booking New Japan at the time, he was on that show. And I was just kind of not hounding Rocky in the back, but just asked him politely, like, hey, sir, would you mind to watch our match? And, any critiques, we'd be grateful for.
Yeah.
And I knew he was watching, so I just know we were all kind of on our A game that night. And, it was one of my, fondest matches when I could look back on and think of, and it helped us get a spot working for that New Japan America show. So I always kind of give a little nod to Patrick and Chance for being a part of that match and us getting to, do the New Japan partially because of them.
So those Ribera jacket pictures that y'all have, is that actually at Ribera Steakhouse though?
Yeah. The first
that's
trip
awesome.
We did over to Japan, we flew. As soon as we landed, they took us. We got the jackets, right? And which is great. That was highlight of my life because I grew up reading the magazines, early 90s. And so that was always like a big deal. You saw the guys in the Ribera jackets. So that became kind of like almost like a life goal.
Yeah.
Well, so we go back and we do, 4 or 5 more trips to Japan. And on one of them, we're back in Tokyo and we go back to Ribera with Rick Steiner. And we have been there a few times. We got the jackets on the first. And so this time around, it comes time towards the end of the night. And Rick's like, oh, a jacket. And they brought one out for Rick. And one of the new people on the tour, they brought the girl out another jacket. And then Rick's like, what about Heatseekers? And the guy was like, Heatseekers already have jacket. He's like, yeah, but they're with me now.
Oh, man.
So he cornered brother to give us jacket number 2.
That is awesome. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Doug Gilbert needs to hang out with him since he's only got that one. No, I'm just kidding. That's a bad joke. But no, that's very cool to be going with Rick too, man. How was Rick? I mean, I know Rick's awesome, but I'm sure you have something cool to say about him.
He was fun, man. He's like a giant 11-year-old. So him and Elliot got along just great. But just lots of fun, because you're sometimes it's these bored days. There's nothing much to do, and you're sitting around. And so he always finds fun ways to just make everybody laugh and have a good time and cut up. And so I love traveling anytime we're around Rick or Scott. Really.
He duct taped red shoes and shoved a Sharpie up his butt. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. That's a joke. Go ahead.
I have a good, quick, fun Rick. Pretty much sum Rick Steiner up. So we had just wrestled on the show, and we went to a IHOP or a Denny's. I think it was a Denny's in Japan, probably 11:30, maybe midnight. And Rick is just, being silly, crazy Rick. And there's a table full of Japanese fella, maybe a couple sponsors, plus the promoter, and Rick and us. There may be I think there's a female wrestler was over there too. Well, Rick just gets up and takes goes to like the toy section of like the restaurant or the checkout, just opens a pack of squirt guns and just goes and fills the squirt gun up with his glass of water, or at the like where you fill your water up at the dispensary, whatever, and then just start. It just starts sneak squirting people in the restaurant walking by and sending it up the squirt gun.
Oh, that's awesome. It's like you squirt, you're like, what? Just hit? Oh, yeah, never mind, sir. Thank you for hitting me with that water. Thank you.
That's hilarious.
Sigmon, is it true I read that you were trained by Harley Race?
Yeah, so I broke in the business in 2004.
I didn't know this.
Trained with Dr. Yeah. So trained with Dr. Tom for
trained you or some shit like that.
Yeah. So trained with Dr. Tom for 7 months, 8 months. Then I started traveling on the road with Ricky and Bobby, Ricky Morton and Bobby Eaton and Smothers.
Man.
And then I went out and I did do a few of those, several of those week-long camps that Harley used to run out in Eldon, Missouri. And man, those were awesome. So I got to do some with Harley out there when he was. He's still kind of getting a little active there. This is early, 2000s.
Man, that's a cool name to have on your resume, bro. That's awesome. Not that Dr. Tom, man, that's amazing. You could have stopped there and been like, oh, highly respected. But you add the greatest NWA champion of all time. Are you kidding me? Come on. So.
And truthfully, and I've done a lot and learned a lot from Les Thatcher too. So I would say Les Thatcher and Tom both just are some of the best guys. Tom has truly the best mind for wrestling, for training, for making every little thing you do in the ring mean something and have value. So I would say, I'm very fortunate to, and Elliot's pretty much the same boat. I mean, Elliot's done same thing with Tom and Ricky and Bobby and not so much Smothers, but Les and Thatcher. We've been very fortunate. Yeah. We've been very fortunate around that. So. Yeah.
Y'all had like the 4 horsemen of trainers on your name. It was pretty cool to see that. That
is pretty fucking cool, man. I didn't know all that. And it's so funny because I text. Actually, me and Tom talked last night because I'll text him and he won't answer. He can't hear. He don't fucking text and shit like that. And I texted him last night and then I called him. I was like, "You're a fucking asshole." He's like, "Why?" I said, "Because you're a dick, man." And so that was our. No, seriously, that was our conversation last night. I said, "You're a dick." He said, "Why?" I said, I don't know. You just are.
Yeah. Well, I got a good one here. I think you guys you can put some people over here real quick. I know you don't like to do that, but in theory, let's try.
That's all we do.
Yeah. I didn't see, you didn't like it though, right? You don't like it. You want to win every match, right? That's the deal.
as long as we get paid, I don't care.
Understand. Okay, cool. Well, what are some teams right now that you guys are seeing? And I'm specifically talking about tag teams, even if it's two guys or whatever put together. But who are some tag teams right now that you think are going to be the Heatseekers of 10 or 15 years from now?
It's a good question.
I know
Elliot.
a babyface team that, well, they've branched out a little bit. I think they're starting to branch out a little bit more. I think they're getting to do some NWA tapings here recently. And I'm actually, the day I moved into my house was the day I met these guys, and we worked them in, I think, their second match. But their name's the Stew Crew.
Okay.
Two brothers named Zach and Dylan. And while they're not, I've never seen them as heels. I just think as baby faces, they almost got that Road Warrior vibe to you, where they actually look like they could kick your ass.
Wow.
So as a tag team, it's almost rare nowadays to see indie pro wrestler where you're like, oh, he might kick my ass.
Yeah. I got to look them up, man. That's cool.
Yeah, they are good. They're great baby faces. The problem, Jimmy, is, so we get asked this, or at least I do when I do these podcasts. If I put somebody over today, they'll quit tagging tomorrow.
Oh, okay. I see.
It just because, and like Wolfie was saying earlier, there's not that longevity is just not there anymore. These guys get thrown together, then they quit.
Yeah.
So most of the guys, John Schuyler and his current tag team there in TNA, I think they're doing pretty good. The Good Hands.
Oh man, we love Schuyler. Great guy.
Yeah. Schuyler's awesome. So they're doing solid.
Hey, call a PG-13 versus Heatseekers match.
Ooh, call a. Ooh.
I'll let you call it.
Are you going to call a match for us, guys? Can you put a PG-13 match together for us?
Who's taking heat?
Jamie takes the heat.
Well, for the finish, I'm giving Wolfie his Dominator back.
Give him his Dominator.
Oh man, I think even today, I think we could have a lot of fun just doing a match like that. And the difference between what you see a lot with wrestling these days is if we did a PG-13 versus a Heatseeker match, we would probably have the people up on their feet ready to fight or ready to, they'll be going crazy somehow one way or the other. So,
yeah. I looked for it through your history. You guys have never linked up with FTR, have you?
No. And before I started tagging with Elliot, Dax was still on the Indies doing a solo thing. And, I've linked up against him in various matches, tag matches with like me and Chase Owens against him and Chris Hamrick. But I would love to work those
Chris
guys.
Hamrick.
What? Who?
Yeah.
That guy did that one bump one time.
Yeah.
Fucking asshole.
He's a good guy.
But I think it would be fun to do.
He knows all of it.
Just because we both have a very similar mindset when it comes to the respecting those who paved the way, right? And just the history of it, right. And the psychological approach of it. We see tag team wrestling a lot of the same way and trying to make it more like a sport, right? And less full on entertainment. So I think that would be a fun one. I would love to even do that and have rock and roll involved somehow, or get Dennis Condrey in there too, because Dennis has traveled with us some, and he loves those guys too. So I think that would be a fun. That's kind of a dream one that we just all have fun if nothing else.
Yeah. That would be an incredible match, man. Because dude, that would be like watching the Midnights, the Brainbusters, everybody, just all the great tag teams working together. I think you guys would have an incredible match with those guys together. It would be fun to watch.
Absolutely.
What do you? Yeah, and I know you guys are in it right now, so it's not the easiest question to say because you can't say the future, but. Like, what do you think it takes for a tag team such as yourself to break through that ceiling? Because, you guys have the lineage, the legacy. You have the talent. What do you think it takes for you guys to break through? And
let me throw this in there, please. With that question, is that there's no tag teams anymore.
Right.
You guys are seriously, like, throwing the whole tag team thing out there again. And I think that's cool. I love tag team matches. I've been a tag team wrestler my whole career. So that's what I'm saying. What's the difference, man? Tag team wrestling, man.
I think that glass ceiling or that next break or whatever it might be, there's always an opportunity for it, right? And it's those moments of right place, right time. There's the politics involved. There's I don't know, 6,000 guys in the independents in the United States right now, all fighting for 250 spots that are on TV. Yeah. So it's cutthroat. And the other problem is there's a lot of really good talent out there too. It's not necessarily that there's a lot of great tag teams on the independents right now, but there's a lot of good talent, and they're all doing whatever it takes to get to that next level. And so it's cutthroat, and dedication's a big piece of it too. And while we grind, we get out, we travel the country, we go wherever we can at the moment. We've both I got family, I got a kid now. I'm not slowing down by any means, but that level of dedication that some guys are able to.
And your girlfriend your wife is a Disney princess, so whatever. Yeah. I mean, you got that on your side.
So while we've got a lot of the fire there's guys that have an extra level of dedication that they can afford to do right now, and that is the part too. Let's all go.
I'm gonna shut up.
But yeah, but we're willing and we're open to any opportunity, and anytime we have that chance, we always go and try to deliver and make the most of it and create something. I don't care necessarily about having a good match, right? I want to create a moment that people will go home, and on the car ride home they go, "Hey, remember this moment?"
Right.
Something
make
that'll
memories
stick with them. So
make memories for people. Yeah.
Yes, and that's also creating a moment, though. You say you don't want to create a moment, but you do. You do want to create something where they're going to go home and go, "Oh, you remember that match, man?" And with that one part, and I know what you're saying, bro. I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
I always want to deliver a great tag team match, and I always want to deliver good wrestling, like true good wrestling.
Absolutely.
But I don't want to be the guy who is only, there's guys out there and their goal is to get like a viral spot on YouTube or whatever. Yeah. Or have the 5-star reviews from some of the diehard internet fans. No. That's cool and all, and I appreciate the effort that they do and what they're aiming for. But I want the general expanded audience to have that moment.
I think Sigmon is running for president. Yeah. I really do.
Let's go. You can
Stop it.
Be
Stop it. I know what you're saying, bro. I know what you're saying. You don't have to do it that way. No. I understand. Yeah, man. I mean, go out there and do what you do and fucking make it awesome. And a couple of spots you want to do that are cool. But I understand. Tag team, do the thing that makes them go home and go, "Hey, remember that match?"
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's funny too when you're talking about no tag teams, because you can always tell whenever you wrestle a team that's two guys thrown together.
Yeah.
So then when you're putting the match together and you're like, okay, these guys don't think as one; they think as like, hey, this and that. I mean,
let me do this. Let me do that.
It's so weird that sometimes you're like, hey, shoot me off in double back elbow, and one guy goes for a fucking hip toss and the other one goes to give you an elbow. You're thinking, fuck. But then it's a blessing when you get to wrestle, like, there's a tag team in the Carolinas named the Dawson Brothers. Dave Dawson and Zane Dawson. And they're twin brothers. So they're like, they were one in the womb.
Yeah.
So in a tag team match, they're like one thing. So it's like a night off when you wrestle a real tag team. And I would like to hope and think that people think that's what it's like when they wrestle us. Or, oh, these guys know what they're doing. These guys are smooth. And, we might be grumpy, but at least when we're in the match, we're not.
Who's grumpier?
How things are
Who's
flowing.
grumpier?
Oh, I'm 100% grumpy.
Yeah, Elliot.
Do what? Who's grumpier?
Yeah. Yeah, it's Elliot, because I mean Elliot's the one that'll just. We have to play good cop, bad cop a lot of times in locker rooms, and Elliot's always bad cop, and I have to come in and babyface save the day. I don't know. He shows up. Now this was before he.
Why is he so grumpy?
So
he wouldn't get up for me that one time. So I mean, I should be grumpy.
I think it's like in high school when you have your nerds and then you have your jocks. I think Sigmon is the nerd that can get along with guys, and then I'm that athlete jock that people are like, this guy's a prick, but like he could probably kick my ass, so I'm not going to say anything. So I'm going to.
That's hilarious.
You just explained the dichotomy on this podcast, actually, guys.
He probably can. I beat the shit out of Sigmon. I beat the fuck out of both of you. But anyway, man,
you have beat both of them.
Shut up.
Let me get
love both of you. I promise that, or you wouldn't be on my show. Hey, you got any spots? You want me to tell that story, Jimmy?
No, I was going to ask him that one thing. So, if
you got any spots?
No, do you guys have any spots? Yeah.
Yeah, this dude walked up to me one time in Shelbyville, and I said, "Hey," I said, "You got any spots?" He goes, "No," and I was like, "What?" And I looked at Jamie, and I said, "You don't?" I said, "You ain't got no spots." And he went, "No." He started looking at his arms. And I said, "Bro," I said, "You ain't got no spots." He went, And he thought that I was saying that he has spots on his arm. So that is like funny. The shit that I dealt with like back in the day. So you got any spots, Sigmon? Like got any spots, Elliot?
No.
No. I swear he looked at me like that. He went, I said, "Are you sure?" And he went, And he was looking at his fucking forearms, man. I said, "Are you sure you don't have any spots?" He went, "No, sir." It's hilarious.
Yeah, that's a classic for sure. Well, you guys brought up Chris Hamrick, so this is going to be my last question. I'm tapping up.
Oh, that bump.
So, yeah, the Hamrick bump, that's pretty impressive. Even when Chris Michaels does it, it's impressive, but I like both. So, anyway, Hamrick asked, what's that?
I said I'd pick Chris Michaels.
Yeah. We're all going to pick Chris, right? Come on. We love Chris. But anyway, so when Hamrick was on the show recently, he asked Wolfie this question, and I thought it was a good question, so I stole it, and I've kept going with it. What is the worst?
Here we go with this bullshit.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't like this question.
I like it because it gives a good perspective on things.
No.
What is the worst advice you guys have received during your time in the business?
Oh, man. There's a lot of worst advice.
And maybe you didn't take it, right? Maybe you were smart enough to not take it, but, you know.
Generally, the people that give the worst advice are the guys who aren't in the spot that you're trying to get to anyway. Like they're the ones who are on the outskirts and think that they know what it takes to get to the spot that they've never had before.
Sure. Yeah.
So there's a lot of bad advice out there, though. You know, at the end of the day, too, what's worked best over the years is communication, just to be open with communication with people across the board. When you say you're going to do something, show up and do it.
Yeah.
And be easy to now protect yourself, right, to a degree, but be easy to work with, right? Don't be the drama guy in the locker room. And there's so many people that will give you advice that just counteracts all those three things.
Yeah.
And so it's but there's a lot of good advice out there. There's guys that really want to help elevate guys and push and try to really help, and there's guys that just have no clue. And unfortunately, this business is filled with a lot of them.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, yeah, I think that was the best way to answer that. I definitely appreciate that. And sorry you don't like that question, Wolfie, but it was Chris's fault.
No, I like that question. I do.
Okay. You just don't like Hamrick. I get it. Right.
No, absolutely, man. This has been a very fun conversation. Sigmon, I love you.
I love you, buddy.
That.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Elliot, love you too. Even though you sandbagged me, you shithead. And, I hope that kind of taught you something when I got mad at you. I don't know. But anyway, I think you guys, I've watched you on social media, and I'm very proud to say that you guys are like doing the tag team thing. You know what I mean? That's been my thing my whole career. Me and Jamie, me and Brian Lee, me and fucking everybody they put with me. I like tag team wrestling. I think it's fun. I think it's different, and you can actually have cooler matches as a tag team wrestler, especially if you and your partner are, intricate with each other. And you just have to look at each other. And me and Jamie had that. Me and Brian Lee had that. And I appreciate you coming on the show, man. And when I reached out to you, Sigmon, you were like, Elliot usually don't do these. And I was like, well, you tell Elliot to go fuck himself and be on my show. And this ain't a fucking regular podcast. And thank you, Elliot. Thank you.
Thank you for breaking your streak of not doing them.
Now he doesn't have to hop in and do another one till 2034.
That's a good run, man.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate both of you. Seriously, I really do, man.
Yeah, thank you.
I think both of you guys know my feelings for you, and I hope that you understand that. But anyway,
always a pleasure, and thank you, Jimmy, for the kindness and letting us come on and rant about wrestling.
Oh man,
yeah, man,
nothing better.
Yeah. We love ranting about wrestling. Wrestling, and here in a minute we're gonna come back with Jimmy.
Ask Wolfie D anything.
Yeah. So these two guys could send them some questions. I'd love to hear their questions, but we'll be right back with Ask Wolfie D anything.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Y'all are the best. Really, seriously.
Good show, man. Good show. Thank you.
Love the team. Love the deal. Love the gimmick. Love it all. So keep doing it. We appreciate it for sure.
Appreciate it, brother.
And Elliot,
have a good night, guys.
Keep the metal alive, bro.
But tag team back again. Check it, Rick, and let's begin.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys. See you guys. Thank you.
DJ, hit the music. All right, we are back with Ask Wolfie D Anything. And man, those Heatseekers are cool, dude. I'd actually never met those guys. And to have known so many people that I have known that knew them, I mean, not just counting you, I'm talking about guys that were like, oh, we're wrestling the Heatseekers next weekend. And I'm like, man, that's cool, And
yeah.
I think those guys are cool, man. I'm glad.
They're good dudes, man. Both of them are good dudes. I just thought of something, man. My voice has held up, Jimmy. My voice has held up, man.
Yes, it has.
I'm back.
You are back. The RFK Jr. effect has been taken off your voice.
Yes.
And you are now Wolfie once again. So
I am, yeah. But thanks to the Heatseekers, man. That was good.
Very cool, and we definitely appreciate them. Before we get started with Ask Wolfie, I do want to give a thank you to my brother, the Plastic Sheik, Jared Street. He's the one that's been making all of our videos lately for, the reels and the shorts, and, it's been a great help to me, so I would just like to say thank you to him for helping us with these videos, man. He's kind of the unsung hero of the podcast because, you hear his voice after every video. It's like, Sheik Shorts, and then it starts over again. But I do that as a little tribute to him so that we can, give him a little props. But we thank you, Sheik, for sure.
Yeah.
And so the very first question for Ask Wolfie today, since, it is Ask Wolfie, today is from Cause Effect on Instagram. And this one I think is playing off of a question from last week, but I like this. So, it means they're listening all the way through still. So he asks, do you wish that you had started Slash earlier? I know the car accident spawned it, but maybe if you think about it, maybe after PG-13's run in WCW, instead of becoming Wolfie solo, you could have started Slash at that time. Do you think that was even a possibility?
I mean, it wasn't that long after. I mean, honestly.
Right.
But I had to get serious about working out too. And I just got motivation there to get bigger because I knew to be able to pull that gimmick off, I had to get bigger, you know? So, and like I said, it wasn't that much of a pause there because we were in WCW when I had that wreck.
Right.
I remember that. Because I was bummed. I was like, man, fuck, I just had this fucking wreck, and now, you know, I'm here, you know, not that we had a great spot, but still not being able to go work sucked for that little bit there. But it gave me I guess the motivation to change and work out and all that kind of stuff, man. So I think the timing, you know, timing's everything, and everything has for a reason. So those two things came together for me right there.
Yeah, because, you know, from what I understand of your career, you know, you did the Memphis run, you did the WWE, ECW, and then you actually were doing solo stuff with Power Pro after USWA. And then you got back with Jamie and did the WCW run, right? So yeah. So really, it isn't far from that. So maybe he's wanting you to have started immediately after you left WCW. But, you know,
but like I said, the main thing is I wouldn't have been able to pull that gimmick off without getting bigger.
Right. And had you already started that? Because you did seem bigger in WCW than you had.
Yeah. I got a little bit more serious about it, but then I really, really got serious about it after that.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I dig that. Well, thank you for the question, cause effect, but I think that's the right answer for sure. So the next one is from, once again, my Mecklenburg County homie, Neil Adam Lee from Facebook. He asked this question. He says, how was your experience at NWA Wildside in Cornelia, Georgia? Folks don't talk enough about how much great talent worked there in this very tiny building in nowhere, Georgia.
I think, now, I could be wrong, I feel like I only worked there once, maybe twice. Again, I could be wrong about that. I met Luke Hawks there. I wrestled him. I went down there. And also was coming from there. That was one of the shows I did on that Friday night on the way to Memphis TV, and then leaving Memphis TV going to Nashville is when the wreck happened. So it's funny that those two questions kind of relate to each other.
Right. Yeah. I do know there was some great talent that came through that area for sure. The Bill Barons, you know, era. I mean, AJ Styles is probably the number one guy, wouldn't you say? But yeah, I mean, dude, Luke Hawks is just awesome, man. What a hustler that guy is, you know. And like, I want to say something quickly about Hawks, man. I don't know if his son and him really have heat, and maybe you know this, and maybe they're using it in an angle, or they don't have heat and they are using it in an angle. Either way, have you seen anything about this that he posts?
I think I know what you're talking about, and I don't have any insight, but just I probably think no, they don't, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, you never know.
Because I absolutely don't know nothing about it.
Yeah, I know. It's funny because I like Luke, man. Once I met him on his podcast, I think that he's a cool dude. And then obviously you see him in every movie that he's in. He's always got a cool gimmick, and he was Stone Cold on the Young Rock. I mean, dude, you know. But anyway,
I wish whatever. I know Heels that he was on the second season got. You know, it went over to Netflix, and it was already supposed to be out, but then they changed the release date on it. And, I can't remember. September now, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, I'm looking for. I want to see the second season.
Me too.
Yeah, and they're talking, I guess, that maybe Netflix will pick it up for a third.
I hope so. You know, Netflix tends to cancel things in the first season.
Oh, no, they kill
them. I start to love something, and it's like, well, that was it, you know?
Yeah.
So, but anyway, well, yeah, I can't wait to see the second season, and I definitely would love to see a third if, you know, that can happen. So, okay. Well, thank you for that question, Neil. We definitely appreciate you as always. And so this third one is from longtime listener, Daniel Chad Whitehead. And This one's an interesting one, and I don't know, man. We'll see. Wolfie, what is your favorite wrestling book?
Well, I gotta say that I don't think that I've read a wrestling book. I'm not a book guy, man. I'm not even an audiobook guy. Now, if they make it into a movie, I can do that. But I'm just not a book person, man. I could read. I'm literate. But I've just never been. I've never really liked sitting down with a book.
Okay.
Give me a A&E autobiography or a biography or something, you know. I need pictures.
Okay, I got you. Yeah, I'm with you.
But I swear, I don't think I've read one. Now, I read Ace Frehley's book after I met him, and I read it from front to back, boom, like that. But I swear, that's like one of the only books I've read as an adult.
Yeah.
And then in school, books that I was, required to read, and some of those I didn't even read.
Right.
What other books have I read? Oh, I think I read Molly Cruz, The Dirt.
That's a great book, man.
Yeah,
oh my God.
And I've read. It was either a Doors book or what's his name? Jim Morrison's book. I can't remember if it was the Doors or just him, but it was about that. But yeah, man, I'm just not a book person, man. I wish I could say that I've read every wrestler's book who I like and stuff, but it's just not me, man.
Yeah, I get it. I'll just say mine. I think mine probably is the Bret Hart book. I don't know if anybody took it as seriously as Bret Hart did, but Mick Foley's books were cool. Chris Jericho's books were cool, but man, I really enjoyed that Bret Hart book. I liked the Animal book about LOD, the Road Warriors. I thought, that was cool. Would have been cool to have seen Hawk have one too, but he probably would have been like, no, thanks, But Bret Hart's was good. But, just talking about music books, I love the Motley Crue. That one was cover to cover for me as soon as I bought it. It was like, okay, and then Cash by Johnny Cash. Of course, I love that. I Live to Tell It All by George Jones. That one's great. But, any of the Kiss books I love for sure. But I would say, man, for sure, I got to say, I think I like the Bret Hart wrestling book the best. So I don't know. A lot of the other ones felt like WWE fluff pieces in a sense. They never, it was like, oh man, I couldn't wait to meet Vince, and Vince took care of me, and I love him forever, brother. It's just like, God, man, come on, tell the truth here. So, and that's what I thought Bret did. Now, Bret sometimes comes off as a heavy complainer, and Bill Goldberg, that kind of thing. But anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that. But I like. I would, maybe one day we'll turn this Live and in Color into a book, or maybe I'll form it into an audio book one day or something.
Yeah.
But,
anyway. Man, that's sorry that I didn't have a better answer for him, but I'm just not a book guy, man.
Yeah.
One
more book I gotta say is the Keith Richards book is great. I read it from cover to cover. I love Keith Richards and the Stones. But if you listen to the audio book, okay, get this. Keith starts out reading it, okay, and then for the majority of the rest of the audio book, it's Johnny Depp in a British accent. I'm not kidding.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like Johnny doing his Keith Richards or
Isn't
something.
That strange how, and I love Johnny Depp, I really do. But isn't it strange how he changed his voice? I mean, just because he moved over there or whatever. I guess maybe it does rub off, but come on, not that much, really, right?
Yeah, I know. It's like the Madonna thing too,
Yeah.
Like, you weren't born there. Shut up, Like,
I mean, it does sound cooler, I think, but
yeah. But it's, come on, man.
Because he's born in Indiana or some shit, right?
Kentucky.
Actually. Okay, yeah.
Like, it's like Pikeville area. I don't know if it's but it's like Dwight Yoakam, him, and Chris Stapleton, and all these big, huge stars are from that little town in area, Kentucky.
So he don't talk nothing like that.
No, nothing like that. John, the ancestors, Johnny's ancestors from Kentucky probably did a long time ago, but not then. Yeah, sorry, bro. I don't buy it.
So it just came out today talking about
movie people. I'll just throw this out there because it was good. That new Mad Max movie that just came out.
Furiosa?
It's on Cinemax.
Oh, cool.
Or it's on Max, they call it now.
Yeah.
But, really good. Just watched it this morning. And Thor is in it. But I think they did something to his nose because at first I was like, who the fuck is this? And then I was like, that's fucking Thor. What's his name? Chris Hemsworth?
Hemsworth, yeah.
It's good.
And he's
though, right?
he's the villain, right?
Yeah, he's the villain.
Yeah. They did something to his nose, but have you seen Deadpool Wolverine yet?
Not yet.
Bro, I'm dying to see that. And I feel like I've dodged so many spoilers. And yeah, I'm dying to see that one. My son, he works at AMC movie theaters in Franklin, Tennessee. If anybody's around there, go say hi to him and buy him something for me. You know, and but anyway, he works at the movie theater, so he gets free movie tickets and stuff. And he's watched it like 3 times, and he's like, "Dad, you got to go see it. What are you doing?" You know?
Yeah, I want to see it too.
Yeah.
Well, all right, man. Again, thank you to the Heatseekers, and thank you to the listeners with the questions. And man, we'll holla at you next week.
And now a word from our sponsor.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling, the podcast that's based on the old school but can still help you find the good stuff from today. Jimmy Street and the Plastic Sheik, Jared, are the undisputed tag team champions of the wrestling podcast world. From thought-provoking topics to superstar interviews to action figure expertise. This team does it all, and all they ask is, give me back my pro wrestling! Every other Thursday, wherever you listen to podcasts.
Hey, it's the Heat Miser Scotty Blaze. Now I'm inviting all of y'all to join me on my brand new podcast, Turning Up the Heat with the Heat Miser Scotty Blaze. So what are you waiting for? Come on over and join me. I'll be covering all the events of the day, global, national, pop culture, movies, gaming, whatever sounds interesting. But I'll also be playing some awesome skating shuffle music from the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s. Anything that has a good beat, I'm going to be playing it. You can rest assured. Come on over, tuthradio.com. The podcast is on every major podcast platform. See you then.
Hey everybody, Gene Jackson here, inviting you to check out the Retro Wrestling Review, where each week I'm joined by some great co-hosts who help me review classic episodes of USWA Championship Wrestling, and right now we are doing week-by-week reviews of 1993. But we don't just do reviews, sometimes we get a chance to interview some of the people who were there and lived it, plus do watch-alongs. It's a lot of fun, so check out new episodes that drop every Wednesday at WrestleCopia.com. And to find links to everything associated to the podcast, you can go to uswapodcast.com.
That's right, it's the talk of Middle Tennessee, the channel you love to hate and the channel you hate to love. It's Brian Turner from Brian Turner's VHS Rehab. And if you're looking for matches from Wolfie D to Jerry Lawler to Dusty Rhodes and the team that put a pimp before your eyes and a goatee between your thighs, Booty Call and Athena, go to lostwrestling.com. See, I made it easy for you. Brian Turner's VHS Rehab. Booyah.
So that was another great episode. Hey, Wolfie, tell them where they can find you on social media.
Jimmy, they can find me in the club, bottle full of bub. I'm just kidding. They can find me on Facebook. My personal page is Warren Wolf, WOLFE. I'm on Instagram at Warren Wolf 13.
You can always find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Live Wolfie D. Here's the thing. Wolfie always has offers for his autographed photos. He has a selection of some awesome photos from throughout his career that he will autograph and personalize any way that you want him to. just contact him either directly at his personal Facebook page or through any one of our other pages, and we'll make sure you get in contact directly with Wolfie. Get those photos, right, Wolfie?
Yeah, I've got some good stuff on there, to help with the podcast.
Folks, if you can't get out to a show to meet Wolfie D, there's nothing like that, especially for the fans of PG-13 and Wolfie D. And before we go, you can always find me, your host, Jimmy Street, at James Rock Street on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube.
And hey, Jimmy, before we go real quick, I just want to add in there, from the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate, first of all, the work you've done for this podcast. You have worked your butt off. Secondly, the people that are liking the page. Beyond that, even more, is the people that are listening, and we really appreciate that.
Yeah, and remember, guys, the podcast drops a new episode every Monday at noon, and our past episodes are streaming now on demand on all major podcast formats. Thanks again.
I got a cap for your dome.
He got a cap for your dome.
I got a cap for your dome.
He got a cap for your dome.
He
got a cap for your dome.
And here we go. The original white boy that came out sagging, not bragging, don't be hating, cause I'm spitting the truth. Still livin' in color. Plum rush your mother, utilize a hubcap, unlike any other. Back in the day, I was N-O-D, and I was P to the G, plus the 1 and the 3. In case you forgot, they call me Wolfie D. Been cloned and copied so many times, tired of suckers taking credit for what is mine. You know who you are without me name dropping. Wrestling's first white boy coming out hip hop. Been doing it like this since 92. Laid low for a while and you thought I was through. Listen real close to these rhymes that I've injected. This shit's so sick it makes your ears get infected. Mad skills, no faking, there is no one great. Cause I'm bringing more folks and over for later. Not here to play games, so you better beware. You don't like me, so what? I really don't care. Like time I keep ticking and I can't be stopped. You step to the side unless you want to get dropped. When I finish, I'll straight knock you out. Please allow me to tell you what it's all about. I'm gonna wind it up, then I'm driving it home. It's Wolfie D, baby. I got a cap for your dome. I got a cap for your dome.
He got a cap for your dome. He got a cap for your dome. This has been a James Rock Street production.